Good afternoon. Good morning. What is it?
It's morning. It
It's
is
still
11 o'clock.
morning?
It's morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we're rowers. We get up early, right? Or we used to.
We used to.
I'm Charlotte Pierce. I'm the producer of Ready Row USA, and we're broadcasting live from the U.S. Rowing Convention 2023, the first live gathering in 3 years, I believe. And I'm here with Fabio Selvig, who's the Director of Sales and Marketing for Filippi, who's
That's right.
the major sponsor of the convention.
We are proud to be the major sponsor of the convention.
And recently came on as U.S. rowing provider, boat
That's
provider.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. So the U.S. national team, the U23, and the para rowing national team are all chose to race in Filippi Boats through
Yeah.
Paris 2024.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was talking to Ellen Minsner about the para boats
Yeah.
last week. She was on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ellen's accomplished great things. She's been using our boats for a while. I think she's personally owned several Filippi boats
Is that
herself.
right? Yeah. She's like a spirit animal. She's just wonderful.
Oh.
I see her at S.R.L all the time.
She gets the job done. She
Yeah.
embarks on a journey. She's going to finish it, which is remarkable.
She's very present.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like how you got into rowing. I know what you do now, and I know how I met you, but how you got into the sport in this industry.
Yeah, so I got into the sport kind of through my brother and my dad. So we grew up in Italy when we were kids.
Oh, that's right.
And we were doing typical Italian kid things, playing soccer or riding bikes and so on. And when it came time to go to college, my dad, my brother approached my dad and said, "Hey, Dad, I got a couple options here. I might try out for the soccer team. I'm interested in rowing," because my dad did it in college a little bit. And my dad said, rowing it's going to be transformative on many levels, and it's truly a gentleman's sport. You should at least try it.
Was he?
My dad rowed
Okay.
a little bit, so he wasn't on the crew at Harvard, but he went to college there, and he would row out of a Newell's boathouse and take a single out.
Really active.
Oh, super active.
Yeah.
That's great. And I think the sport's growing in many ways. And I saw my brother come back. I was still in Rome, and he came back from BU, rowing at BU his freshman year, summer break, and he was fit as a fiddle, ready to go. And he said, "You should try this." And so we went to our boat club in Rome, and right on the Tiber, and there were a bunch of kids in singles out on the Tiber River in front of the boathouse, and a beaten up old soccer ball. And coach is walking us through the boathouse, giving us a tour, kicks the soccer ball into the Tiber and says, "Kids, play soccer." And these kids are out there in their singles,
That's
playing
a great
soccer
story.
in single rowing shells, passing the ball to each other. 10-year-old kids.
John Smith at CRI.
Of course.
He had us playing soccer in singles one time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where he got the idea.
10-year-old kids with boat handling skills that would just...
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And you have to get to know your fellow rowers, too, because you have to call out, when you're going to
pass them the ball.
pass the ball out.
Yeah.
So the
It's great.
Tiber River, that's where
Tiber
you rowed
River,
first.
Yeah. Then I came to the States, and I started a program at Brookline High School
I see.
way back in the day. And then from there, I went to Northeastern,
Yeah.
rowed there for 2 years and a day. And then I spent about 3 years at what at the time was Boston Rowing Center, which was a U.S. national team training center
Right.
out of Harvard's boathouse. So
Okay.
they'd let us use our equipment and train there and so on. And yeah,
A great start.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
You ever go to that? There's a boat club in Florence that somebody told me about. Where you drop they drop the boat down over this thing that goes over the river or something.
It might be Cantiere Firenze, which is the...
I think it is.
It's
yeah.
out of the Uffizi Art Gallery's basement. So you go in there, you
I
launch it.
have to go there someday. I just have to.
Yeah, it's a celebration of art, the art of rowing,
Yeah,
the history of Florence, and
The building is like 1,200 years old.
yeah. The newer ones are, yes.
Yeah, the new.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So you now rep the Filippi Boats, your sales and marketing director.
Correct.
And
Correct.
what is a day in the life of Fabio Selvig like?
So a day in the life of Fabio Selvig. I'm fortunate to work with some really great people,
Yeah.
selling a really great product, right? So I sleep at night knowing that when I deliver a boat to somebody, it's
Yeah.
flawless. which I feel very good about. And we've hired reps across the country who they completely are in. They row Filippi Boats. They love the brand. They, like me, know that they're selling a quality product, and they're very enthusiastic. We've hired somebody in Florida. We have somebody in Texas now. We have a rep in California and a gentleman up in the northwestern corner.
Oh,
of
that's
the market.
good.
And they're
Sometimes
just
that gets left off, the Northwest. I don't know why, but there's a big rowing tradition. But
absolutely.
I'm from Spokane, so
My dad was born in Tacoma.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's a great club, Tacoma Rowing Center. I've had him on a couple times. He runs that.
I haven't been yet, but I'll have to visit
Yeah,
with my
please
sales
do.
rep.
I mean, he has. It's like a, kind of a diverse urban community, and they really do a lot of wonderful programs.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, and I love the focus on getting more people into the sport.
Do you feel like the sport is growing? Are people selling more boats? Are people buying more, clubs? What's going on with?
I do think the sport is growing, and I think there's going to be a little element of, I think the DEI efforts are going to bring in more people. I think just the organic growth of the sport. I'm now meeting parents who are getting into rowing because their kids are rowing.
Yeah.
I bought an erg because my son rows at XYZ school, and he came back and he's fit, and my daughter loves it, and they're sort of by osmosis absorbing the sport and processing it, and it's exciting to see that it's not tied to one specific group of people. It's somewhat universal.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the board of a high school crew in Arlington and Belmont, and I've seen firsthand what it does for kids. It's just, and they're also future masters rowers like myself. So.
Yeah. No,
Gotta get them.
it's great. So I was my journey into rowing. I was attending a pretty strict boarding school in Italy, in Rome, and I wasn't kicked out. I was invited to not return for the spring semester.
That was gentle of them.
Very diplomatic, yeah. So I came to the States, living with my brother who was rowing at BU, and it was, I was restless. I was a restless teenager, and my rowing allowed me to channel that energy into something that was constructive. And I think you realize when you're in a boat with 8 other people that everybody wants to work hard just as a matter of principle. And I don't think I've ever been in a boat with anybody who was okay being the weakest person, the person who isn't going to work the hardest to their capabilities to move the boat better.
It's amazing how it carries everyone along that way.
It does, and I think it instills in people who really do understand the sport. I don't know if it attracts people who have this work ethic to begin with, or if it's something that you develop through the rowing process.
Probably both, but I think it definitely enhances. I know, I row single most of the time, but when I'm in an 8, it's like you don't want to be that person.
Right. and you are in a boat with 8 people, and not one of them wants to be that person.
And then when you get in sync, it's like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of
and
rowing books.
Well, it's true. I mean, you see a crew that is extremely fluid and graceful on the water. Like I think, for example, the Dutch scullers. When I watch them row, I am amazed at how incredibly fluid and technically proficient they are. Yet the amount of pain they're dealing with in the last 500 meters, but they're still able to keep their composure.
I know.
Right?
I'm still working on that lactic acid barrier.
Lactic acid's your friend.
Rowing your mind is your enemy, It's like, but I was rowing with Ann Warner last year, just doing some training with her partner was out of town, and she taught me about that, the lactic acid barrier, and how your mind is you're not going to die,
right?
You're going to end up alive,
right?
And you can do it.
But it hurts.
If it hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so tell me a little bit about the convention and what you hope to accomplish here, and what have you seen any great sessions? Met any new people that you?
I have not been able to attend the sessions. We've been at a booth the whole time. But I have seen a lot of old friends, which is great. We've had a lot of people come up to us from the national team circuit, the coaching staff, all the people at US Rowing have come by. A lot of people have said thank you for sponsoring this,
nice.
which feels great.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite thing about coming to the U.S. Rowing Convention is always seeing people that I've known for over 30 years who are still in rowing. And I think that speaks to the longevity
Yeah.
of the sport, the athlete in the sport,
Yeah.
and the fact that it's not easy to walk away from rowing. It's a great community. And
I'm finding that myself, and I've only been rowing for 10 years.
yeah. But these are lifelong
Right.
friendships. Right?
Yeah, that's
So
right. And it's great to be back in person. You know, it's just,
it's so nice to see people again.
Yeah.
Have a coffee in the morning, a little chat, face to face. It's not over Zoom.
I know, it's
real.
indescribable. It's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah,
We needed this.
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
let me wrap up. Anything else you want to add? Any shout outs for people?
Wow, lots of shout outs.
Yeah.
There's been a tremendous amount of support lately and a tremendous amount of visibility for us since we've joined forces with the national team that chose to use our boats, as I mentioned earlier. And we have been fighting an interesting battle. For some reason, we're known for our smaller boats, Filippi small boats.
Well, I know some Filippi addicts who have small.
Yes, but the interesting thing is when you look at our actual end results at the end table, about 70% of the people at the Olympics and World Championships are in Filippi boats.
Yeah.
And the majority of the medals are actually won in our 4s and 8s. We set a new world record in Tokyo in the Filippi F42, our 8. We just won New Zealand, won the Olympics again. And in our 8 and our F49.
Yeah.
And the past 3 years, I believe, we've always had over 50% of the medals in the 8s, in Filippi 8s.
Is that because of the people that are rowing them, or is there something intrinsically about your manufacturing process that makes them faster?
I think it's both,
Yeah.
and I think they're tied to the same thing, which is people who have been, as I mentioned, the kids
Yeah.
rowing when they were 10 years old.
Right.
People who make it to that level from the European side, most of them have been rowing most of their lives.
Yeah.
They've been exposed to pretty much every brand under the sun. And I think if you are putting your life on hold, your career on hold, to make your Olympic dream come true, does it not make sense to choose the best boat available? Which, shameless plug for us, when 70% of the Olympic level athletes choose your boats, they have to be flawless.
70% of the Olympic level.
65 to 70% of the boats at ultimate Olympics are
I
our
love
boats.
it. Yeah, I've rowed them. I love
Yeah.
them. Yeah. I mean, I have another brand.
Oh, I know you do, and it's a great boat. Look, nobody makes a bad boat,
Yeah.
right?
And it knows more about rowing than I do. So, I'm not gonna argue with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let it carry you, enjoy the ride, and just
Exactly.
keep rowing it. That's what
Well,
it's about.
thank you so much for being here. And
Absolutely.
send us, any of your athletes. I'd love to.
Oh, great.
Talk to more of.
I could
National
book
team.
the rest of your week if you wanted.
Wow.
Yeah.
If,
And
if my voice lasts, I will.
I'll let them do
take
more
you
of the
up on
talking.
it.
Yeah, and in particular, I'd like to thank the national team and all the good people at US Rowing for all the effort they've
Yeah.
put forth to really make this partnership work.
Good.
They've
yeah.
been fantastic, and it's been a great adventure, and we're very excited for
Yeah,
2024.
same with our podcast is that we're a media partner of US Rowing for the convention, and they've been just so helpful. I mean, above and beyond. So,
Yeah.
shout out to Brett and Julia and all the people who
Absolutely.
helped make it happen.
Thank you all.
All right.